All right, let's take a look at number 11, which is concept mapping. Okay, I have all of this drawn out for you right here. However, I want to reiterate that the placement of the bubbles, of the words, is not the most important part of this exercise. It's actually how you connect them. Okay, how you connect bubbles is by far more important than where you place the bubbles, because theoretically, I and you could move these bubbles to different places and describe a slightly different relationship, and that would be totally okay as long as the explanation, right, like this part, is legit. And so I'm actually talking more about these connectors than the actual bubbles themselves. So number 11, use the following terms to create a concept map: sun, hydrogen, helium, nuclear fusion, core, radiative zone, and convective zone. Now in general, when getting started with a concept map, go with the most broad concept that's in the list of concepts. Okay? If you go along and you're making your concept map and then you come up with a better way to start, that's fine. You can go back and change, right? That's why pencils have erasers. But just in general, just to get started, because students struggle with getting started, to get started, just stick with the most broad idea. Now, in chapter 29, we're studying the sun. And so I think the sun is actually the most broad concept present. So I'm going to start with the sun. Now, again, there are multiple ways you could start this concept map. Because I pay attention to the text quite a bit, I know that one of the big things that our text is trying to push on us is the layers of the sun. Okay, the layers of the sun. Now, there are 3 layers of the sun that are included in this concept map, right? They're the structural layers. So, core, radiative zone, convective zone. We're not given the atmosphere, just those kind of structural layers. And so I'm going to go with those 3 layers. Now, you might also point out that, hey, nuclear fusion was one of those great big ideas. One of those great big ideas. Couldn't I have started with nuclear fusion up here somewhere and come up with a different way to connect the bubbles? Of course you could have, right? It's totally possible. This is not the only way that you could make this concept map. It's just the way that makes the most sense for explaining to me. So, I'm going to go with the 3 layers: core, radiative zone, convective zone. Go ahead, I guess I'll write in zone. So how do I relate the core, radiative zone, and convective zone to the sun? Well, they are the 3 layers of the sun, right? Absolutely. The sun has 3 layers. Here's what they are, okay? That's a pretty straightforward relationship. So that means we've accounted for sun, core, radiative zone, and convective zone. So I still have hydrogen, helium, and nuclear fusion. Well, I need to start talking about nuclear fusion, hydrogen, helium, but the question is, what order should I go in? Well, I know that hydrogen and helium are 2 of the elements that are involved in nuclear fusion. So that's my justification for putting them afterwards. And nuclear fusion happens in core. So I'm going to place nuclear fusion below core, and I'm going to connect them by saying the core is the location of nuclear fusion. That's how they're connected. And again, now that I've dealt with nuclear fusion, I only have to deal with hydrogen and helium. And so hydrogen, helium. But again, how do I connect them? Where I put the bubbles, not so important. How I connect the bubbles is. Well, hydrogen, excuse the bell, hydrogen is the fuel for nuclear fusion. And helium is one of the products. Now, there are other products, right? Like energy, right? Energy is the other major product. But energy isn't in this list. Only hydrogen and helium are. So that means that I am done with my concept map.